Yeah, well, he ain't running too good.
That's
Oscar,
why
what's your
he's sneaking
thoughts
endorsement.
on, I guess, a lapse in judgment beyond the rap opportunity? But you got a guy who's going to an airport. He packed. I'm
You'd
assuming
be
he packed. Hold
surprised
on.
how many people.
I'm sure he packed his own bag. And he had a gun in it, and he puts it in the because if he didn't pack his own bag, he wouldn't know he had a gun in there. He wouldn't be running out the airport. What's your thoughts about this story?
Well, that reminds me of when you go to the airport. What do you put in? What do you put in the cart? You put your wallet or whatever. So it lets me know. To me, this guy carries a gun every day because he does it so often. He forgot
it's
he
like
did
a
it.
secondary.
Yeah. It was Scotty.
Like
It's
putting your wallet.
it's so regular to them. Yeah, that wasn't a see for me. If that was me, that's a special moment. It wouldn't be in there. You know what I mean? But that lets me know how often he carries one that he don't remember.
From Oakland.
Well, it's rough. That's rough. Hey, listen, I did a gig when I was playing guitar. And I was playing jazz guitar at that time in Oakland. Great city, and we took all the stuff out for the sound check.
It is a great city. I think it gets underrated because Frisco's across the bay. It is a
Well,
it is a
San
good city.
Francisco is the darling of Cali,
Right.
Well, you
They
listen,
say
Frisco.
you got that money.
Well,
Frisco,
no,
right? Don't you?
let me tell you about Frisco. Frisco's a very small city. You can go from being in a $1 million tax bracket to being on a poverty level in about 5 blocks.
Yeah.
It's a very
There's a lot
weird
of hills.
But we'll move on. Keep
so-
it with the. I'm sorry, cut out.
Yeah. So just wanted to say, after the sound check was over, went to the car and it looked like somebody stuck a screwdriver in the lock. So he said, "Oh, maybe it's nothing." They took it
Using
to
the
the mechanic.
Fillmore, huh?
I don't know what section it was. It was a jazz concert, so I don't remember. This was like 84, 85. But anyway, wound up, man. All my clothes, everything. That's one of the worst experiences I had.
So when you left town, they were wearing your nice suits and shoes.
Oh, it was like Prince Akeem.
Yeah.
Let them wear my.
They donated and bought me stuff, and all that. They were real cool. Plus paid me, like they were supposed to.
There's 950 Lounge News joining here.
Can't touch this. Nah.
We're going to keep it another person who's no stranger to holding guns. Aaron Hernandez is having, I guess, is starting to get acclimated to prison. He's now writing and drawing pictures of naked women. Well, no, he drew a picture of a naked woman. I don't know what word we'll have on the screen, but it's done on an oat tag. Wow. And he's now, drawing pictures of naked women. So I guess he's acclimated to prison.
Is his fiance still with him?
If he's drawing pictures, I guess not. I'm assuming she might have her own problems. But obviously, Aaron Hernandez, Oscar, well documented, former pro athlete that obviously could not get rid of the street persona in him. Obviously, you're an author, talented individual artist. Talk about, I guess, what life imitates art. And here's a guy, nobody understands it. But from a mental standpoint, he never left that street.
Well, they say it all stems. They're trying to blame or tag it to the point where when his father died, that's at 16 or something. They just had something on CNN about that. At 16, his father died, and then that's when he started looking in other directions, and then he got involved in Bloods, but this is a prevalent thing. Well, it seems like they talk about, because I'm big on sports.
Yeah.
In the NFL, but you don't really hear about this, and I'm interested to know in Major League Baseball, football, hockey, where this goes, because you don't really hear. But they're always talking about it, in NFL. Only NFL players come from those areas.
I can tell you why you don't hear it. It's because not a lot of African Americans in baseball.
Basketball.
Well, how about the Latinos?
Well, they get them on other issues because those are Latinos.
They not even getting them here. They getting them.
Those are Dominican
Republic,
right.
Cuba.
But what you hear, unfortunately, about the NFL athletes that they're all thugs. The NBA players are thugs, and the NBA players. That's why before David Stern left the league, David Stern played. Everybody had to wear a shirt and tie, or at least a collared shirt, because the sponsors were getting there. Okay, wait a minute, you got this man making $45 million, and he got tattoos all over his body. He throwing up gang signs.
I think that was the Allen Iverson thing.
Well, it's beyond him. It wasn't just him.
Yeah,
and the NFL has the same thing. I mean, again, it's a violent sport. These are guys who are coming from poverty, and it's not just the black guys. A lot of the white boys too. They get into. I was funny, real quick. Yeah, give me a second. I was watching something on 30 for 30 about the U, about Miami, University of Miami. And they were like, yo, some of the white guys were even more thuggish than the black guys because they were from that same mentality. That it was a player that went to Miami, very educated young, because the University of Miami is a very educated school outside. It's a very private, very it's almost the Ivy League of the South. People don't know that because they think about the sports. But the guy went there, very talented, educational guy. He had to leave. He said he couldn't take it because everybody was it was too urban for him. He had to go to Stanford. He transferred to Stanford. So,
wow.
I mean, again, those are real. But we're going to keep it moving on. We're going to keep the sports theme. Colin Kaepernick's in the news. We know Colin Kaepernick's quarterback for San Francisco 49ers. He's doing a Billie Jean moment. He's saying he's not the daddy. He said, I'm not. He's saying I'm a fitness model. By the name of Brittany Renner is saying that Kaepernick is the father of her unborn child. It says they were dating back in July, and the fitness model put up pictures on Instagram and
that's her?
That's her, and saying that Colin was the child, the child's father. She's pregnant now.
Boy,
well, that
I was going to say,
that's before. That's when he met her, and then whatever he did to her, now she's pregnant. Oscar,
on Beats by Dre.
You mentioned earlier, we were talking about another article. You mentioned about obviously if you're a father, take care of the child. But what about this situation where a lot of these athletes and celebrities are being put in situations where they're claiming they're not the father? I mean, there are a lot of women out here who do this stuff. I mean, it's not like we're talking that this is this never happened.
Well, it's an angle. It's an angle, and I feel if you're in a certain bracket, you're supposed to realize that you're a target. Mm-hmm. So you take a court. You should take steps towards protecting yourself. I don't care if maybe you need release forms. I don't. You need to have women sign things.
It's funny. Nate Newton did that many years ago. I'm sorry, Eric Williams from the Cowboys, not Nate Newton. That it was a situation where, remember when Dallas was all crazy, the White House.
And he was in the middle of it,
right? But he started putting cameras in his bedroom, so a woman come there and he get it on. Don't claim I raped you because we got it on tape.
Well, that's why we have drop cam now. You don't have to even tell nobody you got a camera in your house or in your bedroom.
It's what Matt Mommy would say. It's so empty. So empty.
Yeah.
They make it work for themselves.
But that shows you also where society is at. It's like it's like I feel bad when you go and say you go somewhere and you see everybody like scratching. Everybody try. It's like I always thought I was never going to be lucky. Anything I got, I earned. Right. But we get to a point now where this is what people look at. This is like lotto.
Yeah.
It's like because I would feel embarrassed. Whatever I'm gonna get because I earned it. You know what I mean? But that's where it's at today. It's like people, they want stuff to just fall.
A lot of people,
they gonna put themselves in a position to get, like insurance fraud or whatever. It's like people, I ain't gotta earn nothing. I just gotta be in the right place at the right time.
Would you let him talk?
Yeah, I'm saying, but a lot of people
you tried that 4 times. A lot of people. Oscar, you a guest. Continue, brother.
Okay.
And you supposed backstage. You supposed to be flying them off like shit.
He's at the airport still.
He's thinking about the longest relationship.
Don't
leave. But we're gonna move on. Obviously, we're keeping a sports theme today. Kobe Bryant's in the news. And Kobe obviously coming back from a torn Achilles from last year. Decided to work extra hard this summer. And guess who he was training with? Kanye West. So who knew Kanye was also a fitness guru, a fashion designer, a Kardashian lover, a lot of things. It seems that over the last few weeks before camp, Kobe teamed up with Kanye West in Orange County Gym for private basketball training sessions. The two met at an open gym premier training center,
his game up,
running drills and playing a little hoop before calling it a day. Now, I don't know. I'm
waiting to chime in on this.
I'm gonna get to you. I see you chomping. I love that. I'm not a pro athlete, but I don't believe you get back on your game working out with Kanye West.
Kobe needed his confidence back, so he can get his confidence by playing against Kanye.
All right, I'm gonna unleash your ass. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really fond of Kanye for a lot of reasons. Basically cerebral, starting from his head, because he doesn't say many things come out of his mouth that's logical or mature, and I'm not a fan of his music anyway.
Right.
But also on top of that, I mean, I don't understand why he's playing. I mean, he would get more out of playing with Obama. I think Obama's skills are a little more up. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
And you taking a chance. Now, what happens if you would have stepped on his foot? You just had anger and you would have.
Or he mentioned that he also knocked down Kim Kardashian and got an elbow.
Yeah. and you got injured, and you were playing with Kanye.
Because that was the
He
rumor.
had to get his confidence back. So that was against an inferior guy.
That was the rumor when Kobe was having one of his "She Loved Me Not" moments with his wife. It seemed that Lamar Odom was trying to hook up Kim Kardashian and Kobe. So it's kind of funny that he
didn't have to try.
Well,
no, damn man at the game.
Kobe, I'll be here in 15 minutes. Make it 10.
She smashed the homie.
We're gonna move on. Another guy who's done a lot of smashing in his day, Nick Cannon, pretty much has covered up with his tattoo of his wife, former wife Mariah Carey's name. Cannon had Mariah's name scribbled on his back. He's now had that tattoo covered up into a Jesus cross.
Oh, so now he got what's the new girl? He's
that's allegedly. Oscar, your thoughts on people who forget if they're celebrity, now people who put their partner's name on their body? Does it make sense?
I'm not a fan. I'm really not a fan of tattoos anyway. I'm 54 years old. So when I grew up, either Marines or people in jail had tattoos.
Well, Brody, what's your excuse? You got time?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry.
And on top of that,
we on the spot.
And on top of that,
and
usually what people put too many, like I seen something on CNN about Aaron Hernandez and things that he had. People to me that they do if too much writing to me on your body means you don't talk too much. Your communication skills.
But I don't know. I have to disagree with you on that one, Oscar, because this brother here
tattoos, and I talk a lot.
Okay.
He's not even.
Well, there's
he don't even work out, and he got a bunch of tattoos. So I don't know.
Well, there's always people that are exceptions.
Rick Ross here.
There's always exceptions. There's always exceptions. But I'd rather express who I am and have people read it. You know what I mean?
I hate needles. I don't have.
And then how do you show it off? That means you always have to be undressed to do that.
Well, Rodeo, how do you show it off?
Well, I take a shower every
morning. I just tell them it's there. Believe me, there it is. It's in there.
Afternoon, flex the arms. Evening in bed.
Flex the arms.
No, but you want people to appreciate. If you're going to have something that's supposed to be art,
right?
You want people to appreciate it, like paintings or whatever. So how do people appreciate it enough?
I don't know.
Because the same, your wife, your girlfriend, your mom, they ain't gonna keep telling you the same thing about the same tattoo. You need to, you need to express it all over the place.
My lady has 2 tattoos. I told you get a third, I'm out.
So,
I don't believe in them. But
now you live in Florida, somewhere like that, San Diego. Yeah, I can see it because you ain't dressed. Right. New York, that don't make much sense.
We people
Detroit, Chicago, that don't make much sense.
Well, if you live in Florida, San Diego, they'll think you're a gangbanger.
I just love the naked look.
We're gonna move on. It's a bunch of birthdays in this coming week, and we're gonna go with it. Okay, go ahead. TV personality Joe Behar from The View is turning 72.
She ain't on The View no more.
I said, well, that's what they know her for. But I said Joy Behar, but you know who it was by herself?
Ain't she a comic?
She's a comic, yeah.
But I don't know if he would. I don't know if he would Oscar. That's why I asked. He's a comic too. But,
yeah, but I said a comic.
Former American Idol judge Simon Cowell's 55. The lovely Toni Braxton is 47.
I thought Toni Braxton was older than that. I thought she was on 50.
Maybe she lied about her age. It wouldn't be the first time.
I thought she was on 50.
Actor, comedian Chevy Chase turned 71. Singer Robert Cool Bell from Kool and the Gang is 64.
Ladies' Night.
I know you know that. Okay, sing it, Rodeo. Okay.
So I can't sing.
What a nigga. Okay, bro, sing it.
He probably say, I'm glad somebody know my song.
Singer Teddy Riley is 48. Actor Nick Cannon, Mr. Tattoo, is 34. Singer-songwriter Bruno Mars turns 29. And the lovely Maya, 35. And MC Light turns 43. And that is the 950 Now's News, sponsored by Passion for
Georgie
Eyes
Porgy
and 950 Management. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to dive into Oscar's book. Got an upcoming book coming out, so we're going to dive into that. It's 950 Lounge for the afternoon. Stay with us. You ain't nowhere else to go. Let's do it.
Beep the horn if you like now.
Oscar Sanders is going to talk about his book. Before we get started with that, this part of 950 Lounge is sponsored by Get 'Em Girls. You're looking for the perfect hairstylist, something I don't have a need for. Looking for perfect weave or wig. Get 'Em Girls is the place for several years of experience. Get 'Em Girls is the premier hairstylist in New York City. For more information, go to getemgirls.com. That's GETEM Girls, GURLZ.com. Keep your eyes open for the new grand opening in Harlem on 125th Street, coming real soon. Get 'Em Girls, where hairstyling is done right.
Get 'em girl.
We're going to keep it going. Again, we got Oscar Sanders in the building. He's got a new book coming up that actually launches, I believe, on Halloween.
That's right.
Let's talk about it a little bit.
Tricks or treats.
All right. Yeah. Basically, the name of it is Final Hearing, and it's basically about a popular, political couple, and when a city councilman is murdered, there's suspicion, about the people that are close to him to have been involved, and some of the basic points of it, is these two brothers who are like, I wouldn't say exactly Cain and Abel because there's a lot of love between them. They just had different lifestyle. Yeah, one is like very educated.
Abel.
Yeah. So we ain't gonna say that. I'm sorry.
No, it's no murder on this set.
Yeah. Let's put them. They're like the Wayans brothers.
Yeah, okay.
Let's say it like that.
They
love each other. They love each other,
right.
and for one brother to see his brother, convicted of a crime and indicted and set up, through the forces of politics, and then he's like an outsider,
right.
But comes in and becomes, a driver for him, and then he sees how it goes. So, we're tackling, situations like, left-wing terrorism, which is involved in it, through a boxing promoter who is a British baron, and then, then you have underground, prostitution, which is,
damn.
Oh, you touch on
everything,
bro.
bro.
Across the board, the underbelly.
You got Goldie in this book, too?
Huh?
Goldie? You got Goldie in the book?
No.
You got to see vision.
Yeah, and how far, we also, if you love somebody,
right.
and it doesn't have to be the brother. It could be your wife, your girlfriend. If you love somebody, how far will you go, to right or wrong?
That's deep.
That's something to think about.
And the depths that these two go, which is Reggie and Vincent Cochran,
right.
And one is like a ball played in Rucker.
Daddy's name is Johnny, right?
Yeah. And
Daddy's a lawyer. I get it.
Yeah. So, and then, he goes.
I deal with it every week, Oscar. I deal with it every week.
And then also how people that are convicted, because the two of them, made history because they were the first political people to be involved in a crime, of the same magnitude that was then titled Bribe and Burn, and that was the famous Bribe and Burn trials, because that's actually, the genesis of the story.
Right. I mean, your book, this book here touches on a lot of things that obviously could be played out in front of our
Washington.
eyes and news and things of that nature. When you sit down and say, I'm going to write a book or a story or a novel, what's the inspiration that goes behind it? Do you watch the news? Is it just something that comes from your mind? Is it things you live, some of your experiences? What's the motivation behind your story?
People in general, because I'm a filmmaker also,
right.
I'm into characterizations. So I can build, I could just take your name, and I could create another you on paper, because I look for those quirks and little things, I'll say that, that you grew up in Baltimore, and you went to Laurinburg Prep, and then, from that point, you ventured out at 16 years old, and then you came to New York. You started to feel, you weren't feeling well, you had some symptoms that you wanted to check, and you finally found out you had lupus.
Oh, not Ebola. Okay, good.
That's Texas.
Yeah, see, that's how Hollywood thinks. Now watch the next season, everything is going to be Ebola.
Right.
That's how they do. They just run it in the ground. So it's very important to make the person likable, believable, and people that people can root for. And these guys are just like, they're so real, and it's a Bronx tale, and it takes place. It starts in the 70s when we know it was very lawless, at that point,
right.
And that's
Bronx
explained like through the trailer,
right.
and it's like, it's like, and then you have supermodels, you have substance abuse.
You get a lot of that here. We do a lot of that here. We've been told we bring a lot of, I don't know if they're supermodels, but they models.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
They're
that's
super
cool.
in their own head.
Yeah.
So that's a good.
You're a legend in your own mind.
You got models,
Well, that's self-confidence. You got to have that. You know,
Right.
you got to have that.
You got freaking flower miles.
So when you put these characters together, movie directors where you put these characters together, do you go study, like when you have to bring in a model or you have to bring in some type of crime situation?
Well, it depends on how significant that person is in the story.
Right.
Like for the genesis of the story, I've been following politics, my whole life. Plus, a lot of these people I know. Mm-hmm. Their names are different, but they're people that have been involved in corruption. They've been involved and been arrested and done time. And the stories are still played over and over again. How, people bribe people to, get what they want, in business. They feel that they can't further themselves in business, unless they have politicians in their pockets. Right. And they force them to do things, that they might not know or don't even know they're doing.
That ain't a book, that's reality.
Right. Yeah, right. Well, that can go on. We could talk about entertainment or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Money is influence. Money's influence.
Money's power.
So...
We're talking to Oscar Sanders with a new upcoming book.
That should be a movie instead of a book.
Final Hearing, 9:30 Lounge on a weekday afternoon. Oscars, again, let's talk about the business of putting together a book. Obviously, again, we know with the technology generation, the Kindles, the Rodeo's little notebook he has, people don't actually physically touch the actual book. From an author's perspective, somebody who's an artist, does it matter to you how people read the information? Like we had an author on here a couple of months ago, and he's like, you know what? He likes to have his book when the people to take it's a coffee table book, read the book, touch the book. He gets enjoyment that way. Does it matter to you if somebody's reading it on a Kindle or a phone, or do they you want them to actually get the book in your?
In my opinion,
yes.
No. Mm-hmm. Personally, I like the physical book,
right.
But I think the most important thing is how do people want to read it? How do people, I don't want to stop somebody from enjoying a great experience, as Final Hearing is when they read it, if they need it that way,
Right.
So, paperbacks will be coming out also for those, because some people like that personal touch. They want to talk about it. They want an autograph.
Right.
Fine. But yeah, to me, it's like, I think it opened up a whole, I think this goes back to convenience a lot of times too. People don't want to carry, a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So it seems like everything, is shrinking in terms of that, But I know personally of people that was, I'll wait till you get the paperback.
Let me ask you, so if they read it on a Kindle, do you get paid for that, or only if they buy it? Oh,
yeah.
So it's the same thing.
They have to, they're paying to actually download it.
Oh, okay.
I'm like Oscar. I'm a book person. I take.
Says
part.
Who?
I am. That's why I'm the host of this show.
You saw me look. I was going to do the Esther. What did you say?
This is why when it comes to UNCC, I'm have much more clarity on the mic. But I'm a bit but I'm gonna give you an example. It's a real true story.
Right.
When
Ed has something to do with this.
No, Ed has nothing to do with this. This is actually
he always say, "Yo, me."
After
Ed.
when I met Ed, we was working at I won't name the store, but after I tried to go to that store, I went for a real professional interview, and the interviewer was like, "Listen, you're a nice kid, but you speak in different tense. You don't speak proper tense." And I didn't know what the hell he was talking. Like, what, racial? But then I thought about it and said, well, maybe I'm saying words that are past tense. So I said, you know what? I'm going to take it upon myself to read one book a month. And that was almost 20 years ago. And I've continued to do that, whether that's a book, whether that's the Times, and it's helped my career. Right. And I wouldn't have gotten the way I've gotten it if I didn't know how to speak to people in proper tense.
You're right.
And sometimes we don't even know. We say...
lie. Go ahead.
Well, that's proper tense in the business world. But again, it's so important, especially as African Americans, because we think we're talking and we get caught up as adults now with the phones and the LOLs and all that stuff. But it's important to have proper diction, proper English, to know how to communicate, because
communication.
What was once told by a mentor of mine, your mouth's your strongest tool. If you know how to communicate, you can get anything you want in this world. You can get women, you can get jobs. If you know how to communicate, and that's so important.
You're right.
How you think pimps got? How you think pimp game got so strong?
Everything.
No, I'm just saying, it's communication.
Yeah. He's in love.
That's
with the
two times he highlighted pimps.
He I mean, we can talk about the pimps.
I'm a '70s baby.
Yeah.
We had a father that lived. He wasn't a pimp, but he entertained pimps. You know, he on the bar in Harlem. No, it's the truth. He was you taking a lot of that of Dad's persona.
Yeah, I have.
Hoping not the bad side because he wasn't around
no
much.
Comment.
So Oscar, when it comes out, and this is just obviously we on radio and TV, but I'm gonna take a personal question. How is the production of the promotion of the book coming out? Now obviously I know you on Amazon, which is a great thing to do. What are you doing from a promotional standpoint? Is it book signings? Is it promotion, advertising?
This is the business side coming out, Oscar.
Which is what I do. So
right.
I'm gonna ask you about it.
Yeah, well, basically, it's not just on Amazon. It's about, I don't know, 15 other e-readers at least. And I have blogs on MalcolmEntertainment.com.
Nice.
You know, and so, you know, I got some other stuff some other interviews that I'm doing. So I'm just getting the word. I just keep preaching all the time. People ask me what's going on. I don't say nothing much. I say final hearing. You know, and I just keep going with that. You know,
hashtag final hearing.
Yeah, there you go. You know,
that's what it's all about.
You could be at the courthouse. Final hearing.
Final hearing. Yeah, you know. So you know, so you know, I just keep getting the word out on various Twitter. You know, Oscar Sanders. You know, and MySpace, and just word of mouth, just getting it out there. And people are, and so, you know, some people were, you know, they didn't know I was writing that book for like maybe about 10 years because I was doing some other things too. Right. You know, between I was a musician.
So it was
for
a long
time.
journey.
Yeah, and then I would, you know, I wouldn't say writer's block, but I would just, you know, I give segments thoughts. Like there's a part 2 to this, so I'm already, you know, getting that formulated in my mind and where I want to go with it.
Let me ask that in the book. Now, you wrote the book. Do you live some of what you wrote in this book?
Yeah. You
want
some
to
of
explain?
Ain't no pimps in the book, Rodeo.
No, you said prostitution. I'm just asking. I mean, you want to elaborate what part of the book?
Well, all right. Just to share a tidbit of it. You know, the incarceration part of it, which begins the book.
Right.
You know, I have some experience with that. You know, I had a long 17-year addiction. You know. Which, you know, started like coming out of college.
Right.
And then, you know, I was a musician for 17 years. And I gave up college to go on the road. And I went everywhere from here, you know. And this was during Reagan's time. So we're talking like 1983, 1984. Right. When brothers really was, if they were in Europe, they were basically there like for the military. So they was like, well, you know, people would, you military? Military? Right. No, I'm a musician. I'm out here free, you know. And so, you know, that started, you know, and so I heard the lifestyles, and I seen the things that were going on, and I got hints, and those hints I got from like some 5% of brothers that we were really, because we used to have some good discussions about stuff. We'd stay up late, and we would just be talking about, you know, current events and things that happen, and then they would see me, and I would be getting airmail packages from Europe, and I'd have visits of people that, you know, were European, and, you know, and then just people, you know, all over the pictures, and they used to tell me, you don't need to come back here. That's what I took from prison. You don't need to come back here because, you know something, you got options.
Right.
I don't have any options, you know. So I thought about it. I said, if I don't stop this, you know, this is going to be a cycle where it's like, because I met people that were very relaxed in that in that
and that is true. You know, the incarceration is a lifestyle sometimes. Some brothers just can't make it out here, and that's all they know.
We got a cousin like that when he go to prison, it's like going to college. You would think he was going to Penn State and not going to State Penn.
Well, you don't have to worry about anything.
Yeah.
You know, universal health care, dental. Yeah. There you go. You know, and then if you're any type of person, you know, you got respect.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, you get your job, and you can survive. I've seen people, you know, come at the facilities I was at. You know, I would bounce around. Well, I mostly did a lot of time in medium facilities, and they would bring guys. You know, they would bring guys from Attica, you know, Auburn, and Clinton. They come, and after like 2 weeks, they were like, "Yo, send me back to a cage." And I was like, "Wow, that's interesting." Yeah. You know, that a person, and he didn't say send me back to jail.
Right.
He said send me back into the cage.
Right.
So he almost thought he was an animal.
Right.
You know,
we go to jail. Like, I'm 950 lounge, but you know what I'm saying? Recognize
because they get stuck. And then see, I also was I'm a licensed substance abuse counselor.
Right.
So I've seen guys when they come home and they give themselves a time limit.
Right.
And you can see them start to regress as that time gets close, when they haven't hooked up certain things, and they're like re-gearing themselves, you know, to go back. It's like they don't have no perseverance to like survive. It's like, if this don't happen in like 6 months, I'm gonna catch a case. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And it's like it weakens you, and they because they're comfortable.
There's so many layers to you, man. Again, I mean, obviously we know you're a book author, the experiences you've had. We love to have you back on because, I mean, what you're talking about is greater. I mean, and I encourage everybody to get this book, and I'm sure this is a part of Oscar, but some of the stories you tell, man, I mean, that can really a really deep story. So, you know, we're going to definitely
and we delve into that, you know, and even at the end of the book, I try to prove that, you know, black people can write horror. Right. You know, because we don't do horror films. Right. But if you are living in the horror, why? Yeah, I don't want to write when I'm living in.
We're always the first one to get killed.
Freddy Krueger, let Freddy come down on my block. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But you know something? That's the thing about it. You know, when you look at some people, and I don't like to keep it racial, but it seems like almost like, you know, some people take pleasure in the torture aspects of it. But you know, brothers tend to like, you know, they like to just, you know, separate themselves.
Well, we in the horror movie, we like, yo, I ain't going in that room. Let the white person.
Yeah, or we shoot our way out. But we don't sit there glorifying it for like 10 hours. Yeah. I'm not gonna hold you for 3 months. You know, and torture. You know, it's just like, let's get this over with.
I like when we have authors or producers, directors go outside the box. I mean, yeah, we know what the hood is like. Most of us live that. If you go into a movie or watching reading a book, I always believe you're being entertained. So if I'm living that dilemma, why do I need to read about that? And that's what I try to tell, because I work with kids as well with the sports aspect. I always try to tell people that you could, you know, expand your horizons. You may have never been to Europe, but you can read about it. Yeah. Today's technology, you can go Facebook, you can go Google Earth. And it's so important because that cage mentality you just mentioned, when people feel they have no hope. Right. When it's just, you know options. What? If I wake up today and I get my brains blown out, it just was my time. That mentality, it's a scary mentality. And we have a lot of people who are living that every day. That is their world, you know? And it's like, and we see it with our youth. We hear stories every day about stabbings and shootings. It's because these young people feel they had nothing to lose. And that's
that goes back what we was talking about, where you dispense your DNA at.
Right.
Because see, people don't 20, 30 years down the line, they not looking at that. You screwing that life up. Mm-hmm. You screwing that life up for whatever fun you having now, because that person has to walk around damaged, traumatized, on, you know, psych meds, you know, and self-medicated because it was a mistake, because some mother, you know, or wasn't prepared, or father wasn't prepared.
Oscar, we got about a minute left in this segment. It's been a real pleasure. I want people to tell people they can get the book at, information, how they can communicate with you and things of that nature.
All right. You can communicate with me at Twitter, which is at Oscar Sanders. You can also go on Facebook, the Final Hearing, a Novel, and MalcolmEntertainment.com, and Amazon, Nook, Screeb, Text. I mean, it's about 20 different places where it's on pre-order now, so make sure you get it. This is a dynamic, adventurous book. You know,
add 21 of that. What we're going to do is we're going to add it to our Facebook fan page, that link as well, so people can just click on the link and take them right to Amazon. We definitely, again, if we can't help each other out, then what good are we? So, Oscar, I want people to come on the show, hanging out with us. Anytime. Fun.
Yeah.
It's not when they make the movie,
we're going to wrap this up.
I could be, you know what I'm saying, one to play.
You talk to Oscar after the show. Maybe he can put you into something. We're going to wrap this up and come back and wrap the show up. It's 9:03 for the afternoon. Come on back.
It goes fast.
Multiple times, 2 to 4 Tuesdays, WWRN. 2 to 4 Eastern on the Matrix Studios Network, MatrixStudiosNetwork.com, the Matrix Studios Network on TuneIn. You can also catch us Thursdays and Saturdays on WRN Radio, digital broadcasting, WWRN Radio. .us and on TuneIn WWRN Digital Broadcasting. So I want to thank Oscar Sanders for coming on the show. It was a great treat. Went a lot of different directions. Go get that book. Again, we'll put that link on our fan page. Rodeo, where can people find you
at Twitter, Rodeo757. Facebook, Charles Rodeo Pride, government name, and on Instagram, Rodeo.
Mom ain't name you Rodeo, but all right.
But that's the name.
Oh, you said government name, all right?
Well, no, I'm just saying.
As always,
we're in character, right?
You can catch us all information on our Facebook fan page at 9 Feet Lounge Radio on Facebook. Our website will be up in about another week, and you can chop into that. We'll have video, entertainment, archive stuff, things on some of our guests like Oscar, where you can reach out to them. It's been real fun. Next week we got Heather Hunter, the legend, coming through, so that's going to be a good thing, and also Kathy Red. So the heat of October warms up.
You're coming with another haircut.
Swerve gonna come on some smell good. So we're gonna
another haircut from Phil's Fashion.
I can't hear you. We're gonna wrap this up. As I always say, it's my house,
as we
but you always got to see.
Ain't that something?
We'll see you next week. Peace and God bless.